Hey people, Injured here, 1v1, Green Tooth Gorge, blue side. Val.Hero is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control, up against the Tenso's Kommando Nob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style, begins in ranged combat with a twin link shooter. You have the Death Skull's elite scheme here. That hooded commando looks like he's being all sneaky. Gonna look for some heretics to ruin the day of, I think, and he's gonna find these fellas too. 2 bursts from this default twin link shooter and he'll kill a model. Gonna throw the stun, there it is. These guys basically have to retreat now. Look at that, as one burst of his weapon. Looks like they have retreated in time not to drop one. CSM and the Sorcerer up the west side, gonna grab that natural VP for Val.Hero. Here is the Tenso's natural, sluggers on it, and Shooter Boy is heading for that central contested VP. Trying to make it red so it goes faster. Might see a Doom Bolts on those Shooter Boys before long. Tenso needs to be careful not to bunch them up so the Doom Bolts hits everything. And that's not cover either, so this could be a really good Doom Bolts here. Here it is. It was aimed a little bit high. I think it only hit 2, maybe 3 of the models there. And here's some Daka. Some Tzeentchian worship so the Sorcerer can get into melee without being shot in the face. Now ties up the Shooter Boys. CSM going straight into melee. The stun bomb is missed. Heretics took a lot of damage, but they're coming into melee as well. Got some more Heretics on the field for Val.Hero. Oh, they're going for the Commando. This guy will mess up these fellas in melee at that much health, I think. Yeah, it's a risky fight. Looks like they get away. Another Doom Bolts flies in, a pretty good one. And Sluggers with burners looking for that retreat kill. I don't think they're going to get it, but they have found some more unupgraded Heretics which can't really fight the Sluggers with burners. They use the Doom Blast, make their way back to their allies. It's well played by Val.Hero. These Sluggers are in trouble now. CSM can get into melee, the Sorcerer can get into melee, the Heretics can get into melee. Retreating units taking 30% more damage from melee attack, which is why you see players try to melee retreating foes, even with units that aren't melee units primarily. Although CSM pretty good in melee. Pain Boy on the way for the Tenso. Can support those Sluggers. And we got Havocs up for Val. That heavy bolter counts as a heavy weapon, so they have to set up in a limited firing arc. Also have to kind of tear it down to get away, so mobility can be a factor. Need to be careful with those fellas. CSM pushing forward, getting these Shooter Boys out of there, trying to do as much damage as they can before the rest of the Orks show up. Here they come. Pain Boy's in play. Sub-Commander for Orks. Has a heal over time ability that affects allied Orks called Git Source, which will be mighty useful for those Sluggers. They did kill one of the Shooter Boys there. These fellas have their big shooters, so they can suppress on demand like that with aiming. What's that? Oh, those guys got caught by the Havocs, and they should be able to deal with the Sluggers here. Kill one. There's the Pain Boy heal. Trying to get out of the firing arc, but there's too much stuff here. Oh, we have Grenade Launcher Heretics too. Grenade Barrage actually knocked down the CSM, and those guys just got their aspiring champion. There he is. Here's a Chaos Marine with Bolt Pistol and Chainsword. Gives the other fellas more hit points, which is handy for those fellas. Some Tzeentchian worship. I guess they can't use their aiming. What's that again, hey? Oh, they get their Nob Leader though, so they can spot the infiltrated units now if they're close enough. Commander's being sneaky. Could try and go all the way around. Just tie up the Havocs in melee. Looks like it's going through the mid. Looking for the stun bomb on the Havocs, I think. This is a juicy target for a stun bomb though. Those CSM and the Heretics, but they need to deal with the Havocs. So there's the stun. Can they follow it up though? These guys need to get out of the firing arc. Oh, now they're taking grenade launcher shots. Heretics with the aspiring champion. Doom Blast and back off. Going back in again. Pain Boy's getting pretty low. Heals himself. Commando gets away. Those Shooter Boys barely get away. Really good grenade barrage into a Doom Bolts from Val. Really well played. Pain Boy does get away. Defends the mid well. Oh, it's double Havocs. Oh, they lost the Heretics right here. I wasn't even paying attention. Those were the aspiring champion fellas, weren't they? That was a good kill from Tenso then. Didn't even see that. Too busy looking at the Sluggers over there getting knocked over and stuff. Where are the Havocs going? Not sure. They're going to try and crowd out the power now, maybe. Nope, they're just capping mid and hanging out. We do have Eternal War up for the Chaos Space Marines. 60 rec, 15 power to get 20% more damage on those fellas. Both melee and ranged attacks. Double shooters, double shooter knobs and double big shooters now. It's a lot of Daka. No hard counter to the Havocs, although they can use the terrain and line of sight to try and get around. To stay out of that firing arc, some wide flanks. The second Havocs... Those are heretics. Where are the second Havocs? Right here. Okay. Right there. Some more heretics though for Val. Oh hey! The knife! Oh! That guy got messed up. He just got assassinated by the assassin's knife. That did a lot of damage. Sluggers being hidden by Hide the Boys and they get onto the Havocs here. It's another way to get in, eh? Look at the damage they did so quickly. Havocs have a 20% melee resistance rather than the usual 40. Heretics getting torn up as they try to close the distance. That's what double shooters fully upgraded can do in tier 1. Pain Boy. Oh, I think he threw the heal on the sluggers. Thought they'd be okay and they were super not okay. They perished to the Havocs in fact. Big loss for the Tenso. Heretics might die to Daka. Yes, they did. Heretics having a bad day. Really bad day. Those guys did make it out though. Shooter Boys here. Level 2 and almost level 2. Pain Boy's done well. Sorcerer just got repurchased by Val. And they'll probably just go tier 2 now. Here's Storm Boys though from Tenso. I guess they feel like they need Storm Boys to deal with double Havocs. Commando's knife also gives him tripper shot, which trips something over and also stuns it, which is kind of useful. 70 DPS melee, but you have that big burst of damage from Assassinate, as the Sorcerer sure felt. Has the Sword of Flame. And here's Vestments of the Warp. The Pain Boy's Git Source heal should counter the damage from Coruscating Flame relatively well. Depends how the engagement shakes out. Those Shooter Boys are really far forward getting those decaps. I guess the decaps are worth it. Meanwhile, Pain Boy decapping stuff. What is this? Here are your Storm Boys. Jump troops with power melee weapons. Now getting on the power is Val. Are they going to use the Havocs for this though? Nope, they're decapping mid. And they're soon going to need to run, yeah. Would have just got jumped if they didn't. Sorcerer decaps the natural VP for the Tenso over there. Heretics smacking on the generator. This guy's upset because he can't get in there. He's having a... What is he up to? Some kind of chaos fit. Doom bolts? No doom bolts. He wants to finish that cap, does he? No. Just teleports away. Surprised we didn't see the doom bolts as they ran in there. Maybe he's waiting for an actual engagement where he can take advantage of the doom bolts damage a little bit more. Like right now, maybe. Doom bolts at melee range. Oh, there's Coruscating Flame on the Chaos Space Marines from the Sword of Flame. Just a bunch of fire that does damage over time to nearby units. Teleports in, does the Sorcerer. Pretty handy, eh? There's that tripper shot. Oh, he just teleported some heretics in. Awesome. That's his warp global ability. Teleporting a friendly unit to his location. Don't often see it on heretics to get teleported in and Doom Blast. More teleporting from the Sorcerer. Doing a great job on this east side. Even after he got tripped up too. What's this Commando doing? Getting suppressed by Havocs. More Havocs capping up the west side. Sorcerer continues to be very annoying. Oh, there's Coruscating Flame again on the Heretics this time, but those Storm Boys did get that Git Source heal. Were able to stand up against it, but they did get a couple of Doom Blasts, and they've got quite low still. They've got pretty damn low still. Can they finish them? Can they finish them? They can't. They'll now retreat and reinforce. I only dropped one model, that's alright. Pain Boy's going to go for that central VP, perhaps. Is he? No, I think he's going for the power. I think he's going for the power. CSM coming back out. Did not get their level 2. Blood Crusher on the way for Val.Hero, and it's a war truck for the Tenso. Painboy's going to fight these Havocs, I think. Almost level 2, under Commandos here too. They're going for the garrison. Not a whole lot they can do about that. Havocs in the mid, keeping the VP uncapped. They can't have it, nothing can. Blood Crusher's almost up. I mean, they can use the Nob leader of the Stormboy to try to fight it. The Blood Crusher does not have melee resistance. Although, it's a dicey fight, especially if the Blood Crusher focuses on the Stormboy Nob and kills him. Havoc's run away. Stormboy's jumping into retreat path. There's that Nob leader with a heavy melee, huge chopper, and stun on landing when he jumps on you. War truck there, providing reinforcement for those Orks. You can also jump inside of it. As you saw, here's a Blood Crusher. This is a demon with vehicle armor. 90 odd heavy melee DPS, but it doesn't have splash damage and it's quite vulnerable to hard anti-vehicle. Only 600 hit points on that guy. Will tear through those infantry quite well though. And he's got some cool abilities too, a charge and a way to scare stuff off with his roar. Sorcerer gonna decap the east side maybe. Draws the attention of the Orks. I think there's Stormboys and Sluggers in here. No, Sluggers are dead, that's right. Stormboy and Painboy in there, that's right. Sorcerer teleports out. Wants to engage on the east side though, looks like we got Mark of Khorne Havocs with that autocannon. And it's a pretty damn good autocannon. Look at these fellas. These guys still have their heavy bolter. They weren't set up though. Kommando, I don't know if Tenso is paying attention to this. Has to run away. There's that autocannon. Look at the damage on those Stormboys there. Man, that's a lot of damage. That was 2 bursts. Blood Crusher's in there though. That might have been the first time he saw the Blood Crusher. Oh no, there's tank busters up. They must have known about it. Look at the damage those tank busters do to this Blood Crusher. Dark Flames forces a retreat. Well played from Val. Blood Crusher going after the war truck. It will take it down, especially on rear armor hits pretty quickly. Sorcerer teleports into retreat path. Kills the shooter boys. Well played. 422 to 355. I feel like Val has had the best of most of the fights. Although dropping 2 full heretic squads, which had upgrades, was quite painful. Stormboy's chasing the Blood Crusher. Oh, right in front of those Havocs though. That's a lot of damage at that range. Painboy's here. Can heal those Stormboys now. It's an ideal time to heal them when they haven't lost the model. But does not. Waiting for them to take a little bit more damage maybe. Blood Crusher trying to get away. Down to 8 hit points. Tank busters pile back into the war truck. Yeah, and it probably can't escape, so it tries just to do a little bit more damage to the war truck there. Because even if it got into base, the war truck could have drove in. Tank busters just get 1 more shot and it's down. Maybe they could have worshipped, but these guys were already in base. The worship would have healed the Blood Crusher quite a lot, although not in a burst. But more importantly, perhaps it would have infiltrated it. Strangely positioned Havocs, but they're making it work. We have Chaos Space Marines with their aspiring champion just pop their slaughter and then switch to their melee weapons, as they can do when the slaughter's active. When they're in this melee state, they have some pretty good DPS with slaughter up, and they get some health regen, I believe. But the Commando's there to ruin their fun. That was Assassinate. Big chunk of damage, as you saw. Havocs getting their damage onto the Stormboys. Jump in for the stun. Need to run away though, I think. Because Heretics are there, Doombolts flying in. They are reinforcing off the truck. Okay, they powered inside of it. Havocs are, if they were turned a little bit, would have done a lot of damage to that war truck there at that range. Painboy gets in on them. Stormboys just got a heal. And they are getting their Nob leader back. Not a die last hero, and he does tend to die quite a lot, that fella. Not sure how much hit points he's got. I imagine at least 350 or so. Painboy's done well actually. Tier 3 for the Tenso. Val is already there. The Tenso probably has guessed this since they haven't seen anything since the Blood Crusher. Stunned those garrisoned Havocs there and goes for that fully matured wreck point at plus 30 per minute at the moment. That's the maximum. Wreck points are worth more over time. Tank Buster Barrage got a hell of a range on that thing. It does cost you the Orcs red resource to use though, like a lot of their abilities do, which is why Orcs naturally generate Wah slowly. Everyone else has to kill stuff for it. There should be a tier 3 upgrade for Heretics where they generate the red resource, which I think is just called Chaos for Chaos, when they worship or something. That'll be cool. Depending on how many units are affected by the worship or something, it could be a very slow rate. Tank Busters struggling to hit those Havocs. Looks like they hit a few of them. We have Flash Gits on the way for the Tenso. Heretics on the way now for Val. Level 2 CSM. These fellas, no upgrades level 2. How have they got to level 2? Oh, they do have their Aspirant Champion. The dumbasses right there. I always look for something in the upgrade slot there, which squad leaders don't appear in. What is this? Sorcerer's found some isolated Tank Busters. Commando runs away because the Sorcerer could have just teleported him there and hurt him pretty badly. The War Truck barely makes it out. I guess it got auto cannon day. Storm Boys jump on it. Heretics are there to counter initiate, but they're not doing so. There's Slaughter. And they're going to switch to melee, are they? No, they didn't switch to melee. Painboy heal went in. Heretics die. I thought they were going to slaughter and melee. They still get a benefit if they stay with ranged weapons. It just lowers the cooldown of their weapons, I believe. So they basically don't have to reload almost at all, I don't think, when that's active. Flash Gits, Git Finders, and what I think they call Snaz Guns, which is an amazing name for a weapon. There's lots of DACA, like 40 odd DPS per model, those fellas, with their Snaz Guns. Kind of like Terminator DPS with their Stormbolters, I think. Commandos on the field for the Tenso, most likely called in from the global bar, being subjugated by the Sorcerer. So they're ready for this elite tier 3 Orc infantry, ready to subjugate it, that is. No sign of blasters yet. We do have a Chaos Predator though for Val, and Bloodletters on the way that's going to help them against that nasty looking ranged infantry blob. Especially if they can get onto the Flash Gits. Flash Gits are heavy infantry, so Bloodletters will do a lot of damage with their power melee Hellblades. Weirdly delayed Tank Buster Barrage there. They've gone for the garrison. Here's your tank. No upgrades for this thing yet, but hey, still a tank. Storm Boys went after it a little bit. Commando's going to go down. Here comes a looted tank now for the Tenso, and they do have those Tank Busters, let's not forget. The War Truck needs repairs really badly, but they don't have Sluggers, so it's not happening anytime soon. Might just be worth trashing it then. It's eating up. Oh, it does have the upgrade though. Eating up a bit of upkeep though. Painboy's what? Level 3 now, is unwell. With that Stringer Git source, of course. In tier 2 also gets unstable fuel injection for free, which explodes a friendly Orc. With hilarious results. Val.Hero's got some blue Bloodletters here, which is weird, but I'm into it. Mark of Nurgle on the way for this tank. Very popular choice against Orcs. Looted tank is up, does not have its reinforced plating yet. Commandos don't have their Nob leader yet, and he does have a rocket launcher. Commando still down. Next purchase, pretty important here, I think, for the Tenso. Does he get the Nob leader? Does he try to get his Kommando Nob back and give him a rocket launcher or something? Does he even need more anti-vehicle to take this tank on? We'll see. There's a barrage. Big fight in the mid now. Tank Busters have been subjugated. Could not get any shots off on their own tank though, looks like. I think they were being used in melee there. Lots of Daka from the flash kits. Storm boys are going to get away, I think. Yep, you see the Nurgle tank with that green crap on the ground from its Nurgle-infected autocannon shells. Also gets health regen, melee resistance, and a whole bunch of hit points. It's a good tank. It does slow it down, though. Sorcerer in amongst the flash kits. Bloodletters did really well there. Got more than half an XP bar already. Oh, getting shot to crap, though. The range on those snaz guns with the Gip Finders is pretty damn good. Amazingly, the War Truck remains with 21 hit points. So they did kill the autocannon Havocs at some point. They still got these regular old heavy bolter fellas, and now we've got some Marco Tzeentch CSM. And they should actually trade really well with flash kits that don't have blasters. The Inferno Bolts will do a lot of damage to the heavy infantry flash kits. Settling in the mid den, stabilizing on the VP. An infiltrated Predator tank is quite useful. And we've got some infiltration here too. Commando's going to infiltrate themselves and hide the boys global on the tank busters. Uh-oh. There's a lot of damage all of a sudden. They've got their Nob leader. Tank busters are still trying to chase. And they didn't get suppressed. It's being warped out just in time. Where did it go? Went over there. Well played, Val. Tenso went in pretty hard for that. War truck down to 8 hit points. It's going to go down here. Apparently they just won't shoot. I think he's referring to the tank busters, which seem to be casually kind of jogging along there for a little while. Oh yeah, Val.Hero did put them on melee when he subjugated them. Does that stay there? I guess it stays when you get control of them. That's pretty devious of the Sorcerer. Pretty devious. And that would have been a dead tank, right? That would have been a rear armor hit. That probably would have been enough. This thing now repairing itself up slowly. Heretics are the repair unit for Chaos. Tankbuster Barrage again. This time to mess up the Havocs, and they're taking tons of Daka here. Did those guys just get their Nob leader again? Sounded like it. It might have been the Stormboy Nob coming back in or something. You do lose upfront damage from your Chaos Predator when you give it that Mark of Nurgle, but if stuff hangs around in that green crap, pretty good for you. Lots of resources for Val.Hero here. So we could see Terminators, could see a Great Unclean One. Don't think we'll see a Phobos, but you never know. They've really missed the Commando being around, haven't they? Having to reinforce after every fight. Got their natural VP back, 209 to 231. The Tenso does have the VP lead. Doom bolts are dodged. Here come Bloodletters though. Teleporting in. Tankbuster Barrage. I don't think it's worth using it if they're just alone, because they need a little bit more to go after it, right? I guess it does put some repair pressure and stuff on it. If it hit, that is. Bloodletters can't do anything against garrison units. And now they're probably going to take some Daka. There we go. It's hanging out now, the Bloodletters. Great Unclean One on the way for Val. Miss it still. No blasters. No blasters for the flash kits. Bloodletters teleporting through. Commando's being sneaky. Sorcerer blocks the garrison by getting inside of it. Here's a whole bunch of Orks going mid. And we got some decapping Bloodletters now. They're going to go for the VP. Haven't seen any power bashing pretty much at all, have we? A little bit of damage on those Orky ones. Those guys have to run. CSM might turn and shoot. No, they're backing away here. There we go. Turning and shooting. Pouring the damage onto those Storm Boys. Look at that. The Shooter Boys should have suppressed them there. I'm surprised they didn't use their aiming. What's that? Maybe they are busy on the east side. Yeah, I think they were busy with that tank. Uh-oh. Val.Hero's forgotten about their CSM and down they go. That's a big loss and a lot of XP for that stuff. Got a level 4 Pain Boy now. What is this? Those commandos continue to be a pain in the ass for Val. Great unclean ones on the field though. What are you going to do about this, Tenso? Bloodletter took a bunch of damage. Here's a great unclean one. Having some stomach troubles there. Storm Boy's jumping in. There's that stun on landing. Can they kill them? All. Pretty damn close. Level 3 now. What am I hearing? I think I'm just hearing the Nob leader shooting his rocket over there. Hey, the Kommando Nob is back out. Now has an assassin's knife equipped. Has not got the rocket launcher out, I don't think. I thought for a second they had and they switched back to it, but I think it's always been the knife. Where's the rare and clean one? Subjugated Storm Boys using the jump, gets the stun, and gets a couple of kills. Oh, now we have the rocket launcher for the Commando. It's a level 2 Chaos Predator though. Instantly gets foul snared by the Great Unclean One. Big chunks of damage. Special attack misses. Commando's trying to get a shot. He was trying to use right in the crosshairs. Here it is. But barely scratches the Chaos Predator and then he goes down. A little bit sloppy there from the Tenso. Could have been a bit more nuanced then. He should have just backed off probably. Wasn't the time to try that. Havoc's going for that Western VP now. It's a triple cap for the Tenso. I mean, he's losing most of these fights, it feels like, but look at that VP lead. Look at that VP lead. Where's the Sorcerer? Level 6 in the mid, which is red. Great and King One can't cap stuff. Just going to try and push off those Orks. I think this guy, devastating in melee, has some nasty abilities, as you saw. Also passively damages nearby enemies if he's close enough. There's a cloud of flies. Big old knockback and damage over time. They get some damage though. This brave little Pain Boy going after him. Heals himself and backs away a bit. Commandos harassing the west side. They have decapped some stuff here and Val hasn't taken it back. Still has the tank. Storm Boys jumped in and then kind of stood there. It's a good foul snare on the Commando. The Nob leader of the Commandos, and he killed him too. Great and Clean One's down to half hit points. It is getting lots of benefit from the Tzeentchian worship, but that's a lot of hit points to heal. 54 to 192. Central VP is blue now. Pain Boy being messed up by the Sword of Flame, and there is an Imperial Abyss from Val.Hero on that blob of Orks. Might actually kill the Sorcerer though. Yep, dragged into the mid of the Abyss and goes down. Now dragging in the aspiring champion Heretic. Okay. Can easily repurchase. Probably going to wait for the price to come down though. You have Havocs and Bloodletters looking after the west side. He is down to 54 VPs, so needs to be careful. Can they see this out with a 2-to-1 cap? Nothing went for the Eastern VP, and they're not retaking his points either. Having to keep their eyes glued on the mid. Plague Marines on the way. Has the Tenso got anything out recently? They are up to 82 pop. I don't think they have. Lots of reinforcing and stuff. It's taking all their requisition. Also having to rebuy the Commando too. Sneaky Commandos. Chucking their burner bomb. Bloodletters are on them, but there are only 3 models now. It's a good distraction. They go for the garrison. And yeah, look at that. The Nurgle Preds a decent counter to garrisons with that damage over time crap that it has. Plague Marine's getting caught. And we now have blasters for the flash kits. AoE psychic PvP damage, which is very effective versus heavy and super heavy infantry, such as the Great Unclean one, which is super heavy infantry. Down go those commandos. That guy tossed aside was not tasty enough. Storm boys, you going to jump the havocs here? What are you doing? There we go. Just wasn't looking over there, I don't think. Can they kill him? Oh, they took their time to start attacking, didn't they? Were they in range stance or something? That was weird. Didn't get a single attack off. Pain boys fighting the Plague Marines. Trying to disrupt them off the cap, which doesn't work. They're still close enough to cap here. Single for the Tenso. This tank has been amazing. Level 3 now. Uh-oh. Flash kits are gonna die. Sorcerer getting it done. It's level 7. Tank busters trying to get the tank levels to 4 though, and it's messing up those tank busters. That might be GG. The side sponson heavy bolters also do damage over time, which I assume stacks with the damage from the main shell if they stand in it. Different type of damage it should. Cyborg implants for the Pain Boy. Plague Marines down to just 100 odd hit points here. Got Bloodletters tearing through the Pain Boy, can't fight them. Even at level 4, no match for Bloodletters. Level 2 Bloodletters as well. 21 to 131. The Tenso is still fighting, just trying to take down this tank out of spite, I think. Oh, subjugated commandos. Can you cap with a subjugated unit? Because these guys have faster capping. Why is he moving them that way if they're subjugated? That was weird. But they're going to die anyway. Tenso's just talking now, I think. Chatting. Typing. Words. I think they needed those Storm Boys up a little bit earlier. They really ran into kind of an early roadblock against the double Havocs. They did get through it eventually, but just couldn't maintain their army. Preservation was tough of individual units, spent so much reinforcing. Did a good job on the VPs, but Val.Hero stayed strong. Thinking maybe Commandos was a bad choice. I think, yeah, they lacked a little bit of nuance when they were going after the tank. They kind of just went head on. Could have done some more flanking maybe with the Kommando and the Kommando Nob. Nobs and Weird Boy, says Val.Hero. I mean, it's a pretty good combo, eh? Plague Marines casually just taking out the gens. Yep, subjugating Nobs is always a counter for everything, I guess. How much health does this guy regenerate alone? Look how slow that regeneration is for a Great Unclean one. Very, very slow. Should get some health regen in combat or something, maybe. There's the game. Val.Hero takes it. The Tenso conceding at the end after a brief chat about things. There you have it, guys. It was a cool game. Lots of cool plays from Val.Hero with his Sorcerer and stuff. Enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.